Alright, today you're going to be working with the volume of pyramids and cones. And we'll start off with the volume of a pyramid. And that's going to be equal to 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Alright, the big letter B represents, that's area of the base. And the lowercase h, that represents the height of the pyramid. And remember, the height, this is important. Height is always perpendicular to the base. And the volumes of these pyramids and cones, it's just like what you did last week. It's cylinders and prisms, but you're multiplying it by 1/3, okay? Because they're 1/3 as big. So look in the box in the middle of the page on 757, where it has volume of a pyramid and it gives you the formula. But look where the heights could be. That green, the first green pyramid, the height is right in the middle of the shape where you normally see it. The pyramid to the right of that is called an oblique pyramid. And do you see where the height is in that shape? All right. Yeah, it's outside of the pyramid itself. But that 90-degree symbol at the bottom of that red dashed line with the H on it shows that the height is perpendicular to the base. Okay? And it shows that in both cases. So they give you an example there, and it's not real complicated. You've got your pyramid. I think the hardest thing about these pyramids is drawing them. I don't think finding the volume is that hard. So I think that's going to be on your quiz this week. You're going to have to be able to draw a very accurate pyramid. Anybody's pyramid look like that yet?
Yeah. Kinda.
Are you serious?
A little bit.
You're lying.
Check it.
It doesn't look too bad.
Oh, that's good.
Check mine.
I mean, it's like an 80.
Yeah.
It's not gonna look at yours though.
Yeah, watch it. My tongue look at mine too. Look at mine.
I can't see that far.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
Too good. So bright.
It's too good that I'm blinded.
All right, so
That sucks.
if this is the given information and you're asked to find the volume, it's the area of the base, which in this case the base is a square. So your volume is going to be equal to 1/3 times your area of the base is going to be 4 times 4, which is 4 squared, times the height of the pyramid, which is 6.
Why is it 1/3?
Why isn't it 1/3?
Oh,
All right, look, think about this for a second. If we took the same shape and we made it a, let's see. This is what we did last week. I got a little confused. Not confused, but
Yeah.
look, if this was 4 by 4 and it was 6 high, same dimensions as this pyramid, right? Well, how much of this prism on the right is not there? Okay? Wouldn't it be 2/3? Right? If you did this, if you drew this pyramid inside of here, you see it? You see all the stuff that's not there?
Yeah.
All of, well, mathematically,
You get rid of it.
if you're taking the volume, if you're using the same formula for the volume of a prism, and you're multiplying it by 1/3, aren't you saying that this pyramid is 2/3 smaller than this prism?
Yeah.
That's the one, that's answers your question of why multiplied by 1/3. Using the same volume formula, you're just multiplying it by 1/3 because it's smaller. And it's 1/3 smaller. Make sense?
You mean a third as big.
Yeah, 1/3 is big. Okay? So then you just do the math in your calculator. So I don't know, 1/3 times 16 times 6 is 32. And if these were all in inches, then it is inches cubed. Inches cubed. Got it? Good, good, good. Turn the page. Volume of a cone.
What page are we on? I love this.
759 now. Volume of a cone is equal to 1/3. It's still 1/3 times the area of the base times the height, but in this case it's 1/3 times the area of the base. That's pi r squared, isn't it? Times the height. Because in a cone, the base is a circle. And again, the height and base always are perpendicular. So if you got to find the volume of a cone, you just need to be careful of the dimensions that they give you and make sure you use the proper ones. You know, if you're given maybe this picture. And asked to find the volume of that cone. The volume of this cone would be equal to, don't forget this, that gets forgot all the time. People forget to multiply by 1/3. Write it down first. Do something so you're not going to forget that. All right. So the area of this base, which is a circle, what's the radius of this base? Good. So it's going to be pi times 7 squared times the height of the cone.
25.
It's the 25. Good. And I think on these cones, they're asking, give your answers both in terms of pi and rounded to the nearest tenth. So you leave the pi symbol in your first answer. So 1/3 times 49 times 25. 408 and 1/3. That's 408 and 1/3 pies. And then you hit it with a squiggly line because that means approximately. And while that number's sitting in your calculator, push times pi button and hit equals. 1282 point to the nearest tenth, 0.8. So 1282.8. Yes.
When you put in pi, why you select the 1/3?
Because when I multiplied a third by 49 by 25, I got 408 and 1/3.
Oh, okay. I thought that you just left the 1/3, like how you left pi.
No. Did you multiply with me?
No, I did not.
Yeah. That's important. It sounds insignificant, but it's super important when I'm doing these problems that you're doing the math on the calculator, so that if you're not getting the same answers, you can ask, why did you get this, or why didn't you get that, and how did you do that? That's the practice portion of it, because that was a good question that he just asked. So now did you get 408 and 1/3?
Oh, yeah. I got 4.3, but it's because I divided. I did 1 divided by 3.
Right, because you didn't type 1/3.
Yeah, I didn't type that.
Try it again. Type 1/3 times 49 times 25 and push equals.
Oh, I found it now.
Did you get 408 and 1/3?
Yeah, I did.
408 and 1/3 pies. And then while that number's sitting in your calculator, you just write it down, 408 and 1/3 pi. And then you don't have to retype it. You just push times the pi button and hit equals. And you get the 1282.8. Clear?
Yes.
All right, so here's some practice for you to do today. Page 761.
Did you know that yesterday was Maya's birthday?
Oh my gosh.
She's
Oh, happy
15 now.
late birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
2 through 4.
This morning.
Six and 7. Actually, make that 6 through 8. $17 and $18. And this 9 weeks, we're going back to the homework on Edline.